So the funny part is that I told them that I'm going to say this word because I'm an improv, so I guess I can curse. I was going to kick your ass if you said my name wrong, and he did. So I owe you one, Daniel. So it's Inés Hegedus-Garcia. So today, I'm going to talk to you about egocentric branding. Now I'm going to tell you a story first. So we're going to fast forward, actually go back 15 years when I got my real estate license. I was a commercial real estate agent, actually just doing management. I wasn't an agent yet. I was practicing architecture. I decided to get my real estate license. A lot of you here I know come from different backgrounds, so we will have a lot in common. And I went through the whole real estate class. I went through everything that they taught me about marketing. My husband and I as a team, we hired a photographer. We got like a great headshot. I went into what color are we gonna use, what logo. I did everything that was asked of me and that I learned in real estate school, but it didn't feel right. Okay, so today, if you walk out with anything, is trust your instinct, okay? So if at any time you feel that in your marketing it doesn't feel right, you don't have to do things like everybody else does them. You don't have to do things like you're taught in real estate school. I know the Miami Association is gonna love me for that, but trust your instincts. Now, branding, it's not about color. It's not about fonts. It's not about logos. You're gonna have to read this a couple of times. It's a promise of what will be delivered or experienced. Again, a promise of what will be delivered or experienced. There are over 50,000 real estate agents in South Florida alone. Did you guys know that? So the question is, what are you guys doing to stand out? What makes you different? What is your value proposition? So this is a funny story. My husband and I decided, this is my first card, 15 years ago. Again, the instinct told me it wasn't right. So there you go, you have the color, you have the logo, you have my photo on the card. It didn't feel right. It felt like I was being egocentric. It felt like my business was not about me. It was about my clients, it was about Miami. It was about what we sell, right? So we started brainstorming. How can I remove the card from my photo from my card? Now, question to you guys. How many of you here have your photo on your card? I want to see hands. Okay, keep them up, keep them up. How many of you here that have your hands up think you're good looking? Ah. So that's not the point. That was, the whole point is you need to do things with purpose. Okay, just because everybody has their photo on the card, it doesn't mean you continue to have your photo on your card. It's okay to have the photo on your card, but just do it with purpose. So at that time, things didn't feel right, like I was saying. So we started playing around with the idea of an ism, a philosophy, a way of life, and that's where Miamism was born, right? Now, because I'm an architect, it felt right to have some sort of architectural historic background to go around with the ism, and we sold Miami's lifestyle. Everything that you see me post ever is about Miami's way of life. So the decision you need to make is whether you want an agent-centric approach or a client-centric approach. Totally different, okay? But with purpose, you need to make a decision when you go forward. Your value proposition is different for every single person in this room. Dairon told us before that he was in pharmacy. Obviously, he has a knack for humor, so that's working for him. You know, what do you have? What background do you have? What's your passion? And I'm gonna show you examples later on of a couple of people that are doing it really cool. Now, you'll make mistakes along the way, which is also super funny. So when we started Miamism and playing around with our visuals, we decided to separate the SM in the Miamism. Now we got tons of questions. What does SM stand for? There were a couple of people that even came up to us and said, "Are you guys into S&M?" It was so embarrassing. So you guys will make mistakes, but you need to be open, again, instincts, and you need to be open to an evolving brand, that you have to make changes if things don't work out. So obviously, we changed the color and simplified the SM into one single color. I came up with really kitschy things at the time to think if I would say, save it. I would say SM for social media, SM for sexy mojito. I did a couple of things, but decided to change the colors at the end. So now that I said mojito, it's a good segue to things that will happen in your marketing. A lot of you may know the story, so it may be cool, it may be boring, so sorry if I'm boring some of you with an old story. But at the time, this was maybe 13 years ago, I was really into social media as an early adopter, and I was blogging. Blogging was doing super well, and I was playing with keywords. So I decided to Google, what is the most searched key term? And at the time, it happened to be mojito, right? I said, let me do a test. So I told my husband, put on a guayabera, let's do a mojito. This was pre-video, by the way. We did not have videos on our phones, so it was a little bit more complicated. So we did a video on how to make a mojito, and it really caught on. So then my instinct said, let's take it a little further, let's do a little bit more testing, let's see if this works. Now, naysayers came at me and said, it's never going to be professional for you to associate an alcoholic beverage with a real estate professional. So obviously that came to mind. That was a question I had to consider. And at the time I said, because I was blogging and I was looking for my perfect audience, I said, if someone doesn't want to do business with me because I like mojitos, I really don't want them as clients, right? So that's a decision we also make on a daily basis on who we work with. And by the way, we do have that power. So at the time I took on the mojito, I started doing reviews around town. It got a little bit out of control where I would walk in a restaurant with my husband and they would go, Miamism, are you doing a mojito review? It was kind of cool. A little freaky, but a little cool at the same time. So Florida Realtors Magazine last month published an article on marketing that's not about real estate. And they had me on one of their stories. So again, instincts, thank you. So it's all about finding what works for you and thinking of the future. Don't think of now, think long term. Be open to market changing around you, of your marketing evolving. Look how real estate has evolved alone in the last 5 years. And then perception is really important. I'm not saying to be someone you're not. I'm saying that what the public perceives from your branding is huge. And you really need to embrace that because it's powerful. These are the 3 examples that I told you I was gonna mention today. So there's this guy, Rob the Juicing Agent, that he is a trip. He does these juice videos, but he combines them beautifully with real estate. So it's not about just his juice or being healthy, it's about his passion for juice. And then if you see, he has like a realtor t-shirt when he does the videos, and he has a really great way of incorporating that into his marketing. The other one is Yusuf here, by any chance? So a lot of us know this guy, and I love what he's doing, the Fit Lender. You know, he is really selling his business without really selling the business, which is cool. And again, incorporating a brand and a passion that he has without selling anything and being so upfront about it. And the last one I love, the Fast Agent. He's from Oakland. So Kenny has a hashtag Fast Agent. And what he does, this is a really cool concept because he doesn't have a logo. He grabs like the latest movie, the latest alcoholic beverage that came out, the latest craze. He grabs their logo and changes it and puts Fast Agent in there. Now, I don't know if he's got any lawsuits or cease and desist letters, so I can't talk for that, but I can talk for the fact that he's being super creative, and his whole thing is that he sells listings fast in Oakland. All three guys, memorable. So if you can walk so we can review today what I've told you, make sure you know the difference between agent-centric and client-centric approach to marketing. Your brand is promise, value, proposition. It represents you. It doesn't represent what you're supposed to be. Perception and impact are huge in our industry. Be memorable and trust your intuition. I used to end every single presentation with answer your phone, but with robocalls lately, I'm not gonna even go there. So all I ask, be professional, return your messages, guys. Here's my contact information with Avanti Way, which has been an amazing move in my last month. So please contact me if you have any questions. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing differently. So thank you.